talking about the environment, and I know what you guys are thinking. This is going to be another one of those green spiels. She's going to tell me to recycle my juice boxes and to turn off the lights when they're not being used, and then she's going to tell me to bike to school or work in -40 Edmontonian winters. Do those things, but don't bike to work in the winter. Do all the other things because they're good for the environment, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. And before I tell you guys that, I want to start off with a little story. So a while back, I was at the mall where I saw this little boy eating some fried chicken with his parents. And in his hands, he had a napkin, which he was using to wipe the grease off of his fingers. And then when he's done, he drops the napkin, not onto the table, but onto the ground. Now this is littering, and I know, it was inside a mall, which means the mall custodian will probably come in a few minutes, pick it up, and put it in the garbage. The fact that the boy littered doesn't really bother me. It's the fact that his parents didn't say anything about it. The fact is, a lot of people these days prefer to turn a blind eye to littering, because something as small and insignificant as throwing a napkin onto the ground, it can't be that bad, can it? And as a result, we are building communities where it is okay to litter. Society doesn't exactly encourage littering, but it doesn't condemn it either. And where does this leave us? We can see evidence of littering everywhere that we go. It's not noticeable right away, but if you pay really close attention, you can see it. People throwing away their water bottles and their coffee cups and cigarette butts and plastic packaging everywhere on our streets. It's so pervasive in our lifestyle, it's hard to just take a step back. So I did a little experiment. I went on a timed 5-minute walk in my neighborhood, and I took a photo of every single piece of litter that I could find, going on the assumption that litter is anything that is not usually found in nature. I ended up taking 44 pictures. Now I know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but in 5 minutes, 44 pictures, that's 1 picture every 7 seconds. And going beyond that, all the litter that we throw out eventually through the wind and rain find their way into the oceans, where they can cause major havoc on marine ecosystems. Researchers in 2010 reported that in that year alone, up to 12.7 million tons of pure plastic ended up in the oceans. Many animals die from trying to eat our litter, thinking that it's food. I mean, can you imagine finding a piece of a delicious looking cake, taking a bite out of it, and then finding out it's actually made out of plastic? And going beyond that, the litter that we put out into our environment is a major source of waste and pollutants that go into the land that we're standing on, and the air that we're breathing, and the water that we're drinking. Littering seems like, to me, an impossible problem to solve. Well, let me tell you something. If I were to be somehow magically transported to that moment where I saw the little boy throwing his greasy napkin onto the floor, I would have walked over there and I would have picked it up to throw it away. There would have still been tons of litter out there, but I know I would have gotten rid of at least 1 piece. And that's just the thing. It seems so simple, but it's so effective. When you pick up a piece of litter, not only are you making an active difference, but you're also fostering a sense of environmentalism in your community, one that's hard to get rid of. Making a difference doesn't mean getting a PhD in the environmental sciences or creating a whole new source of energy. It can be as small as making your community just a little cleaner to live in, and making this world just a little nicer to live in.